looking at the viral Gabby Petito case. A road trip, a boyfriend, a murder, and the social media mirage that fooled a lot of people until it didn't. This is the van life disappearance.
Welcome to the channel. Today we dive into one of the most heartbreaking and widely discussed cases of our time. The van life disappearance of Gabby Petito. What seemed like a dream road trip turned into a national tragedy. But beneath the headlines lies a deeper story. One about control, silence, and the psychology of abuse. Let's uncover the truth behind the filtered photos. Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie's journey began as the epitome of the Instagram perfect lifestyle. In July 2021, the young couple departed from Long Island, New York in a white Ford Transit van, embracing the popular van life movement. Their plan was to spend 4 months exploring the scenic American West, visiting national parks, and documenting their adventure through YouTube and social media. Followers were drawn in by their posts, sun-drenched photos, smiling faces, breathtaking landscapes, and a narrative of freedom and adventure. Gabby, a budding influencer, shared her love for travel and nature, presenting a romanticized view of life on the road. Yet, behind the filtered images and cheerful captions, tensions simmered. What seemed like a dream was becoming a distorted reality. This curated online portrayal masked the real emotional struggles and the toxic dynamics quietly unfolding between the couple. A reminder that social media often hides more than it reveals. As August 2021 drew to a close, the regular stream of cheerful updates from Gabby's social media abruptly stopped. Her last known communication with her family came at the end of the month, raising immediate concern. Meanwhile, Brian Laundrie returned to Florida, alone, on September 1st, driving the van they had shared. He offered no explanation for Gabby's absence. 10 days later, Gabby's family filed a missing persons report. Panic and confusion spread rapidly across the nation. How could someone vanish in plain sight, in an age where every moment seems to be digitally documented? What began as a personal tragedy became a national mystery. As law enforcement and internet sleuths raced to uncover clues, Brian remained silent, refusing to speak to authorities. His lack of cooperation, paired with Gabby's eerie silence, only deepened the sense of dread. What had really happened during those final days on the road? Unraveling the truth. On September 19th, 2021, the search for Gabby came to a devastating end. Human remains were found in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming, near a dispersed camping area the couple had visited. Shortly after, the FBI confirmed the remains were Gabby's. An autopsy revealed the cause of death was strangulation, and the coroner ruled it a homicide. The nation mourned while questions mounted. Brian Laundrie, now a person of interest, vanished shortly after Gabby was reported missing. On October 20th, his remains were found in Florida's Carlton Reserve, along with a notebook that contained a written confession to Gabby's murder. He had died by suicide. The revelations were gut-wrenching. What began as a seemingly wholesome road trip had ended in tragedy. With both Gabby and Brian gone, no trial or formal justice would follow. Only a lingering sense of grief and a haunting look at how love can turn into control and violence. The psychology of control. At the heart of Gabby Petito's story lies a psychological phenomenon that is both complex and devastating. The need for control in abusive relationships. Control does not always look like overt violence. It often begins subtly, through isolation, constant criticism, emotional manipulation, and the undermining of a partner's confidence. Victims, like Gabby, may not even recognize the abuse until it's too late. Abusers use charm, gaslighting, and fear to maintain power, often masking their intentions behind love or concern. Gabby's body cam footage from her police encounter in Utah shows her visibly distressed, apologizing, and blaming herself, classic signs of psychological abuse. Meanwhile, Brian appeared calm, in control, and articulate. These dynamics are common in toxic relationships. Control escalates over time, often culminating in violence. Understanding these patterns is essential not only for prevention, but for equipping friends, families, and law enforcement to better identify when someone may be at risk. One of the most tragic aspects of Gabby Petito's case is how many warning signs were either missed or misunderstood. Abuse doesn't always leave visible bruises. It often manifests in behaviors: withdrawal from loved ones, anxiety, emotional volatility, or excessive need for validation. Gabby's encounter with police in Moab, Utah is a haunting example. She was crying, disoriented, and admitted to struggling with her mental health. Yet the officers, likely untrained in trauma-informed responses, focused on surface-level behavior. Gabby took the blame while Brian calmly presented his version of events. This dynamic is typical in emotionally abusive relationships where the victim may feel responsible for the abuse. Friends and followers on social media saw a smiling young woman unaware of the turmoil behind the scenes. Recognizing emotional abuse is critical, not just for law enforcement, but for society at large. Learning to read between the lines can save lives. Gabby Petito's encounter with police in Moab became one of the most scrutinized moments of the case. On August 12, 2021, police responded to a 911 call about a possible domestic disturbance involving the couple. Body cam footage shows Gabby visibly shaken, while Brian appeared composed. Officers, perhaps unintentionally, misread the situation, labeling Gabby as the primary aggressor and suggesting the couple separate for the night, rather than pressing charges or involving a domestic violence specialist. Though they may have followed protocol, the incident revealed a lack of trauma-informed training. Too often, victims in crisis are misinterpreted as unstable or dramatic, while abusers maintain composure. This misjudgment can cost lives. Gabby's case is now used in police training nationwide to better identify subtle signs of abuse. It's a critical reminder that effective law enforcement requires not just action, but education, empathy, and an ability to see beneath the surface. The Gabby Petito case captured unprecedented media attention. News outlets, social platforms, and amateur internet detectives flooded timelines with updates, theories, and speculations. While the exposure helped mobilize resources and public interest, it also sparked a difficult conversation. Why do some cases go viral while others remain invisible? Many pointed out the disparity in coverage for missing persons of color or those from marginalized communities, a phenomenon termed missing white woman syndrome. The intense spotlight on Gabby's case illustrated both the power and the pitfalls of media. Gabby's parents, Nicole Schmidt and Joseph Petito, were thrust into the public eye during the most devastating time of their lives. Yet, amid their grief, they found purpose. They launched the Gabby Petito Foundation, which focuses on supporting victims of domestic violence and assisting in the search for missing persons. Their message is clear: what happened to Gabby shouldn't happen to anyone else. Through partnerships with advocacy groups, the foundation funds educational programs, safety resources, and helps families navigate the complex and often painful process of searching for a loved one. Gabby Petito's story is more than a tragic tale. It's a mirror reflecting society's gaps in how we recognize and address domestic abuse. The case exposed the need for better education on healthy relationships, more accessible mental health support, and improved response protocols from law enforcement. If you found this video insightful, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us share stories that matter and reach those who need to hear them. Stay safe and stay aware.
When someone tries to leave and the other person would rather kill them than let go, that's not love. That's possession. That's control. Good evening and good night, mortals.